Howdy all, and welcome to part 21 of my playthrough of Conan Exiles. In this particular episode, what we're going to do is we are going to head up to my first dungeon. We're going to go to the Dregs, which is down at the very beginning of Noob River, basically right underneath that archway that you see there, and actually sort of underneath those two big pillars in the distance, framed by the palm trees here, pine trees. You can tell I'm in New England and not from anywhere that has palm trees. So to do that, first I need to get into the journey step, or into the journey itself, Dungeon Delver, and we will go ahead and switch into that journey. So the first thing it says, find the dregs. Now, I believe I've been down there, and I think we've already found it, but it does trigger again once you get to the dregs opening, it triggers as find the dregs. So you can go there and actually discover it, and that won't ruin the start of this particular journey. So going with me is going to be... this is the Sumerian Berserker I got last part. I've given her the name Bav. Apologies to anybody who speaks Irish for my pronunciation of that name. I was going to call her Morrigan, and then just did a quick look up, and it turns out that Morrigan is one of three sisters, and one of them is named Bav. And again, that pronunciation is based on what Google search tells me is supposed to be the way it's pronounced, as best I can accomplish it. So, couple of interesting things to know about Bav. I've taken her around a little bit to get some levels up on her. She's at level 5, and her base at level 5 hit points is 2,762. Dicus at level 8 is 2,380. So the Sumerian Berserkers are inherently tougher. As it turns out, Dicus is still a heavier hitter. Dicus, with whatever the nerf happened in the last patch, has a damage modifier, a melee damage modifier of 2.5 something, and the Sumerian Berserkers, or at least Bev, has 2.3 something. I'm still going to take Bev with me because survivability and hit points is a thing, and with the Watchblade, a legendary weapon that does 80 points damage with the damage modifier on it, and armor penetration of 22, which is really awesome. It does a cripple. It's just a really good tool to use. I'm going to make sure I've got enough. The Dregs as a dungeon is pretty well lit, but still, it's possible that it could just be way too dark, and I might need to actually use like mace and torch so you can see things instead of mace and shield. Alright, so I'm going to have Bev follow me, and you can see her hit points just jumped up to 3473, so that's a big plus. I already have on me the things that I'm going to give her to increase her abilities. So the cooked pork rinds, you put them in the inventory and your follower eats them automatically. It will increase strength and grit. I'll get out of it because it doesn't disappear for some reason until you get out of it. Salted pork increases strength weapon damage. And that you have to tell them to use. Now I'm going to use the Tears of Gullah, which is a potion you can make that also increases your follower damage by 12%. And we should be ready to go. With one exception, I'm going to need the stuff I will need to make. Narrow doorways. Followers always get stuck in narrow doorways. Or you get stuck. Do I have any... Yeah, that's not enough, so I'll just do it out here. Actually, I don't need to make a campfire because I'm going to bring Kuro Akama with me. So when you go to a dungeon, generally you can make sure everybody's following. Yep. As you noticed in the last episode when I died in the opening to the wine cellar trying to get Zeth's truncheon, you can respawn in the dungeon, and that's generally what you want to do depending on where your corpse is. The problem, and then you could just, respawn at the beginning and basically race past everything so you don't have to fight it, because at that point you'll be in your underwear. Until you can get to your corpse and get all your stuff back. The problem with the dregs is that it's also a puzzle dungeon. So you have to actually trigger things to happen, and realistically the only way to do it, I mean, you could probably do it if you got up close enough to these triggers and threw something at them, but is to use a bow and arrow. There's nothing that you can get to make a bow and arrow in the dungeon itself. So if you die and you've lost all your stuff, there's no way you're going to get through it to get to, without using a cheat command, to get back to your followers so they can start following you. Because, of course, when you die, your followers stop following you. So I have loaded up Kuro Akama with a new set of armor, weapons, and a bow. And we'll get some arrows. Now, we could go through Skulker's End, and I could show you how that all works, but we're going to go around the back way. We'll still have to kill a few of the... Oh, not that one. That will bring me up into a Dafari camp. I'm going to keep going around this way. Also, I turned up the volume of the game itself a bit and turned the music back way down. I play with the volume turned way, way down. I just find it annoying, particularly the music. But I realized in the last few episodes, nobody can hear anything. And one of the things I pointed out was how an NPC has this really cool speech. And then nobody heard it. Alright, I think I can leave Kuro Akama up here. Let's see. Yes. All right. And I will place my bedroll up here so that I can spawn outside the dungeon and then run back in with a bow. And you see, Kuro Akama has a whole new set of armor, a bow, 2 weapons, and even another Tears of Gullah. Because if I die, that buff that you can see up there in the upper left will disappear. It's not a huge amount, but every little bit will help. So if I went... This is called Algar's Overlook, and it doesn't pop up and trigger that I've discovered it, because I went up here to check to make sure I could do this. If I went through that archway, I could go into that camp, that Dafari camp that's down there. And it is possible... Oh, I can also learn... This is where you learn the Khitan dance, or Khitan dance, but I think I've already learned it, so it's not going to pop up. Yeah, it would have shown up by now, if the ghost was actually teaching it to me. So the camp is down there. You can go in there and actually get some followers of value. Sometimes a named dancer will show up there. Sometimes a named armorer or a tanner. I can't remember which will show up there. And sometimes a named bearer, a tier 4 bearer will show up there. So what we're going to do is we're going to run around a way that'll take us down right next to the entrance to the dungeon itself. And that is, you come down here through this arch. You can see all the corruption over there. That's one of the obelisks, which we haven't even touched on. I don't think. I might have mentioned them in a previous episode. But at some point you can learn how to make a map that will allow you to transport around the exiled lands to these obelisks. You have to attune to them, so I'd have to get over there and attune to it. I'm not going to do that here. What am I going to put back in there? There we go. Okay, so we're going to come all the way down here, and we're going to get a couple of people to fight us. Oh, aren't you tricky? Oh. Uh-oh, here we go. Here comes the cannibal brute. And there goes the cannibal brute. Alright, let's see. What do we get off here? That's what I'm looking for. I don't want to waste my good arrows. Triggering... I think I know the war dance, but I'll take that anyway. Sorcerer... I'll take some sorcerer stuff. I'll take one more healing wrap. And I think I've got enough arrows. I don't want to weigh myself down anymore. You know what? Let me take that other healing wrap. I said, let me take that other healing wrap so I can heal up and still have 10. Or close to it. Okay. Alright, so now, how do I want to do it? I think I'm going to go this way. So we've cleared them out. Did we pull those guys? No. I won't worry about that. So up here there are two, usually it's a fighter and an archer. You have to go through this doorway and kill one of them on top of this sort of big altar-looking space that's up in here. So come get me. So the journey steps just showing. I found the dregs, but I already knew the dregs anyway. And killing them on the altar causes this thing to open up. This is how you get into what was essentially the old sewers of the unnamed city, the dregs. So you got really dark there, and it's really dark here, but there's all this glowing stuff. I'm gonna call this good, at least in this part right now. So we've got a lore stone here. Which is... Oh, that's right. I forgot about this. Alright, so when we get down to the bottom of these stairs, you're going to hear a loud pop, and then all the sound in here goes away. That was something that they screwed up in the last patch. Really? Alright. Adventurer's note. If you go down into any of these holes down here where the glowing lights are, where the flames are, there's glowing goop down there. Now, I've got all the glowing goop I need, so I'm not worried about it. One thing I want to do... you know, I can get Ichor off these guys. And I hate to throw away anything of any value other than that, but I've got very limited carrying capacity here, and there's stuff I want that's down at the end. There you go. There's the pop. Oh, alright. Well, the ghost sounds still happen. Oh, I see. if you go back up out of that area, the sounds return, and then you come back down and the pop hits. All right, that is a 3 skull landscape boss. There we go. All right. It functions just like a giant crocodile. Oh, that's a pretty lousy spot to get it in. I can't get behind it and attack. Let's get out of the way. Okay, with no sound here, I'm going to have to talk through all of this, aren't I? This is a little weird. All right, but you see, Bav isn't taking any damage at all to speak of. She's at 96% against a 3 skull boss. Normally, I would take everything in here because it's good stuff, but I'm only going to take the things that are going to give me some sort of value. Do I want to put anything on her just yet? Not yet. Oh, but I do need to get the skeleton key. So I've come in here with 3 skeleton keys, which is all I need. There are only 3 legendary chests at the end of this dungeon. God, I hate throwing this away, but I really, really need to keep my weight down. But you can get 2. You don't get a skeleton key from the very last boss, which is really weird. That's also one of the challenges of fighting in here. You don't get a skeleton key off these guys, and frankly, I've got more ichor than I need, so... it's difficult to actually find their hitbox and tell your follower to attack them. Because this is all water, so you're like, you click E and you drink. Are you coming after me? Yeah, you are. All right, see. Oh, I got the hitbox on that one. All right, good. All right, so this first big door, all of these ghosts show up to tell you to, hey, click on the door and go through it. I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a dungeon. You've played a game before. Yeah, it's not like that's a challenging thing to figure out. But, it's nice to have them there. There are some chests at some random points around in here, but they never have anything of any real value, and it's not worth getting off track to go after them. The reason I grabbed these is I'm now going to replace my arrows in my bow with the bone arrows, because we're coming across the first. See, this one is close enough that you could actually, if you brought like throwing knives or hatchets or something, you could just go ahead and throw something at that to get it to trigger. So what it does is it raises the water levels in here, and that's how you get from one point to the next. Now, there are a bunch of skellies over here. Oh, that didn't work. Let's see whether Bev is coming up. And the answer seems to be no. All right, Bev, where are you? That's another thing about this, is that it's very difficult. All right, let's trigger that. Oh. Of course, I ran out of... Now, if I go down here, will Bav teleport in? Oh, apparently not. Come on, Bav. All right, where are you? That ain't good. Oh, you can't jump up here. So, all right, they can't get to me here, I don't think. And you can't jump up here. You have to jump into the water and climb up at one of the spots that will allow you to do that. So, while I've got the opportunity, here's one of those chests, and you see there's nothing in here. All right, why isn't Bav following me? So, and here's how you get out of this. You have to run back up one of these ramps. Okay, are these guys still on me? Yes. Oh no, there's Bav swimming. All right. Well, I don't need to kill them. Although I do kind of want their stuff. But we'll just move on to the next one. And one of the things, you have to wait until it actually fills up, because you can get trapped underneath these. All right, this one is an interesting and multi-part puzzles. You have to shoot this one, and then you have to shoot ones that are on either side of it. So I'm going to get over here and get ready. Okay, should be high enough. There we go. Oh, don't jump. Oh, God. All right, now I have to climb out of here. Oh, that ruined that. Let's see. Obviously, this is where you do the climbing out. So how... You can't really technically jump on this stuff. Alright, I gotta wait for this to come back up. Once you trigger it, it goes up and down. I can't jump over here, can I? Oh, I can. Alright. Alright, so now what I want to do is go over to the next section over here and try not to jump clean off. And then go over here. All right, and what that second one that I just shot over there triggered is this one. All right, now I really want to make sure that I have Bav with me. Not because of that. I mean, there are a few skellies here. Oh, yes, crimson or purple lotus powder, witchfire, black lotus powder. Yes, please. It's because of that guy. That's the other skeleton key. You know what? Actually, I always bring them up here. She could fight him down there. It doesn't matter. She doesn't get damage from that poison, although I would. I guess maybe if she kills him and he drops into the poison, I might have a hard time looting the corpse. And right now it looks like that's what's going to happen. So I'm going to tell Bav to move over here. Come on. Let him come after you. There we go. Oh, what are you doing attacking me? No, not move, attack. There we go. No, don't. Oh, we almost went into it anyway. And he did. All right, I think I can reach him without taking any damage. Grandmaster Armor, yes. Stutter Wraps, yes. Yes, finally. Reliable Butcher. What do I have? I have. Oh, okay. I'll definitely take that. Legendary Cleaver. All right, and then this. God, I forget his name already. Um, Always drops those carcasses for some reason. Let's see. So now, actually, you know what? I wonder if the Sandstorm mask, acid bath. Nope. Well, actually, was I taking damage? Yes. Okay. Sandstorm mask will not prevent you from taking damage from acid. Good to know. Let's put that back on. All right. Oh, and I'm going to get rid of... I don't need any more demon blood. Definitely don't need any chitin. Feral flesh. All right. Now, there's a bunch more skeletons down here. I think as soon as I come here, I'll trigger one that's right there. Knocking me down. Jerk. And let's go ahead and... Oh, what the heck? Well, we got the freebie super heals. Yes. More glass flasks, more purple lotus powder. Alright. So I'm going to send Bav up there, which should draw the attention of the skellies that are up there. Oh, and apparently drew the attention of this one. Alright. It should have been more than those. I send her down there. That should trigger the ones that are down on that side. Yeah. Go get them. All right. You know, it's kind of dark in here. Oh. Come on, Bav. Let's get these losers into Loserville here. Always water-filled glass flask. Gray lotus powder, yes please. I can now make raw ash for later on. I usually go for hardened brick, but let's see. Did I? I didn't. Nothing really. Nope. All right. These chests sometimes have things worthwhile in them. Sometimes. Not always. Black lotus powder. I probably have more ichor than I need, but since I've got some... Alright, I think that's it. Did she kill any of the ones that were over here? I guess they came to me. Alright, now that's it for... Alright, this gets pretty green and glowy too, so I'm going to turn that off. That's it for anything other than the final boss. We're now at the last, I guess, puzzle part. So you need to come down that little ramp, swim around here to this ramp. I say ramp, it's, you know, broken pieces of the walls and so on, but you can actually move up these. Whereas in dungeons, you can't. Like, if I were to just try to climb up there right now, you cannot climb this. You know, even though I can get up here, I can't jump up enough to climb that. It won't let me do it. So you have to do the puzzle. And now this fills up, and you're going to go up right there on either side of that pillar, usually on this side. I find it's more difficult to get up that side. And you see you've got another broken ramp here. All right, and we are now about... normally, as you go through this, you would hear a sort of sibilant, hissing kind of voice that would basically be calling you, sort of a siren call. Come on, where are you? There's a skeleton up here somewhere. There he is. But because the dungeon's borked, its audio cuts out like you heard. You don't actually hear it. But when you get to that point, it actually sort of tells you, oh, you're so close now, things like that. What was that? That's simple. Nope. All right, there's one other skeleton on the other side of this, so I'm going to come around this way before I go up into the boss chamber, which is this space right above us with the fencing and so on. All right, buddy, where are you? There you are. And always take Crimson Lotus powder. I've got so much compost. All right, so that's the boss. It's a big slug thing that sits in a acid bath and spits acid at you. Now there are two ways for me to fight it. One is to block it. The best way, of course, is to send a fighter down there who, because they won't be damaged by the acid bath, will just start whacking on it. But when it comes up like this, what you want to do is put as much bleed on it as you can. Heavy attacks, to help out. And then try to quickly get your shield back up in case it's going to spit at me. It is. It's not taking any damage. Why is Bav not attacking it? I got a little minor damage out of that, but you can also just sort of run around. All right, Bav, why aren't you not attacking? It does bite. Again, minor damage. Until it comes up like that. Go back to your daggers. Try not to be where it's going to, it will. All right, I'm also going to tell Bav to attack it. See whether or not that'll work when it's up here. I mean, if I wind up having to basically just kill it. 5, quick. No. Oh. Quick. Get out of here. I'm gonna die. Alright. Let's... Actually, I can't heal. Alright. Get out of the way because it's going to come up after me. Alright. Now, unfortunately, I have to heal before I can... Come on. Alright, and run away. Alright, it looks like I'm going to have to just whittle it down bit by bit. Sorry this has taken so long, but for some reason, I wonder if I can get Bav to come up here. My guess is she's stuck in the landscape somehow. Oh, he did get me. I didn't move away far enough. Alright, nope, not that one. These. Come on. Keep bleeding. Bleed out. Come on. Bleed. 5. I didn't hit 5. I said 5. There we go. Ah, it got me. All right, Bav came out, and now she's attacking. There we go. 728 damage with the watch blade. That's more like it. That's what we're looking for. And boom, it dies, and the pool drains. And I heal. And down here we have a book where you learn how to make all sorts of stuff with the materials you get off of this thing. And if you use a cleaver, you get the things, the abysmal eye and so on, but you also get all this abysmal flesh. All right, and now here's the chests. Jediah's Great Saber, it's better than not having one. Blade of the Adventurer. And the Vaulting Pole. Okay. Ain't nothing there that's really impressing me. All right, that's it. That's basically the dungeon there. That pool will start filling up again pretty quickly, although, of course, he won't respawn. So you do have to go down there and get your stuff. Oh, yeah, see, it's starting to fill up again already. This is the exit, where we came up from around the stairs that go back down around that way. This is the exit, and it takes you to a pretty interesting place. It's going to get really bright. Except it's almost nighttime. These are the vents for the dungeon, and you can see they're way up here, even behind Skulker's End and the entrance to the dregs. Oh, it also triggered. I begin to feel weak with hunger. I guess I'd better eat something then, hadn't I? Oh, I got the head too, so I can mount that. Cool. Let's see. Where's my food? There's my food. All right. Now I have to figure out. I'm trying to remember how I get back down to. I think it's. No, that's really close to the wall. I mean, that is down to where I want to go, I guess. I can just jump down all these cliffs. I thought I could go around. Maybe it's the other way. I mean, obviously I can't go back that way because, you can see the green wall is right there. So I guess I'm going to do a bunch of cliff jumping. And there's Kuroakama. Return the inventory. I didn't die. That's pretty amazing. I hit level 50, so that's good. That means that opens up a bunch of things for me. But that was the first dungeon. I hit 6. I'm going to hit 4 to put that away. So let me just show you what I got. So the Blade of the Adventurer is one of the few two-handed swords, great swords, that is an agility weapon. Aside from one of any of the katanas, like Musashi's Black Blade. Musashi's is the best two-handed agility weapon you can get. Jediah's Great Saber is an okay. It's basically the same thing as the Watch Blade. When I put a weapon damage kit on it, this is going to be up around 80. Armor penetration is actually a little bit better. I might swap that out. The Vaulting Pole, if you want a spear, that's an agility weapon. Or a pike, that's an agility weapon. There you go. It's not great on damage. Frankly, its value is much better as something that you would break down and get the star metal out of it. So I think that's going to call it, or I'm going to call it a video. That is how you do the first dungeon in this game, the dregs, or one of the ways to do it. Again, the other way is you could go out there to the beginning of Skulker's End and just basically run through and kill everything in Skulker's End instead of just going down near the, near the end where we did. Either way works. I just found it a little bit quicker to just ride up around here and then just climb down than going through and fighting all of those things. Plus, they don't give a whole ton of XP. Did Bav go up a level? Yeah, Bav's at 6 now. All right, cool. All right, folks, we will see you in the next video. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. If you have a comment to say, please drop it in the comment section below. If you like what this series is or anything that Nerd Caliber does here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the notifications bell. In the meantime, please do enjoy the somewhat warmer weather. It hasn't really warmed up a whole lot here in New England, but it's getting there, wherever you are. And stay safe, be well, and bye-bye.